This week, we're getting hyped for 2020 in gaming. We're talking about all the biggest games coming out between January and April. That's Resident Evil 3. That's Doom Eternal. That's Ori and the Will of the Wisps. There are so many more to talk about. It's a hypeful bowl of dude soup today. Welcome.
That was very humorous.
That was all
Huber intensity.
I channeled it.
I feel like I'm part of Game Enthusiast Media
Weekly.
today.
Welcome to Dude Soup. I'm your host, Alyx Willems. Today's episode is brought to you by Stitch Fix. Get started today at stitchfix.com/dudesoup and get an extra 25% off when you keep everything in your box. Upstart, hurry to upstart.com/dude to find out how low your Upstart rate is. And Hims, try Hims today by starting out with a free online visit at forhims.com/dude. We'll hear more from all these great sponsors later in the show. I couldn't be more hyped today. I'm joined by Adam Kovic.
Hey, what's up?
He's got a lot of hype. You got a good amount of
I
hype.
have zero hype.
He's substandard hype.
Yeah.
James Williams, you're a pretty hype guy.
Standard hype. I
You're a
would
hype
say
guy.
I'm average hype.
And a pretty mellow, even keel hype guy, Michael Huber.
Extremely mellow. Very mellow.
Mm-hmm.
Very hyped.
Very hype.
Always
Play the
Always
Shenmue
hype.
theme. Let's see what happens.
Mike Huber of Easy Allies.
Hello.
Former Game Trailers alum.
Yes.
Thank you for joining us.
Thank you for having me.
No.
What a treat.
It is a pleasure to be
Especially
here.
given the subject matter. The announcement this morning at the PlayStation State of Play. Wow.
Yes.
What
All
was
we can
it?
say is
Wow.
wow.
Some of us didn't wake up at 6 a.m.
Out of the four of us at this table, how many of us woke up at 6 a.m. or before to view? Okay, got it.
He's still going strong. Ate a granola bar only today.
Yeah.
I tried
Really?
I'm on granola and water right now. You know, I get like weird stomach issues.
And you don't
Usually
know
when
why.
I do like outside
I
my comfort
understand.
zone,
Yeah,
I'm
I
very
understand
comfortable here.
Right.
But it's like I still get when I go places and things
yeah.
like
I
that.
understand it.
Yeah.
Hard to eat.
I understand
Yeah.
it. If you need anything at any point during the podcast, just say the word. It's yours.
You can say it, and nothing may arrive. Just so you know.
Say it.
So yeah, we're talking through. I'm breaking it down, starting with Q1 of the year. So this is the first 4 months of the year, January through April. All the big games. Pardon us if we miss any titles. We're just trying to get through.
Titles
Yeah.
and the like.
I figure we should start not in chronological order, but maybe with one of the biggies.
Hypological order.
Hypological.
Ooh. Okay.
That is amazing.
This is the big announcement that everyone's pointing to from the State of Play this morning. It's Resident Evil 3 Nemesis, the remake. It's coming April 3rd to the PS4, Xbox One, PC. It puts players back in the shoes of Jill Valentine, who you remember from the first game, of course.
Yes.
Following up to, so everybody played the RE2 remake, which was outstanding. And now we're, 24 or 48 hours in the storyline before the events of that game?
Yeah, Resident Evil 3 takes place a day before, the day of, and a day after.
Okay.
So it's kind of, yeah.
So it's happening
the third one, but
concurrently.
it's the second one
Kind of like
chronologically.
it's like the pre-sequel. like they
Umbrella,
did.
if you will.
You're out of control.
Yeah, the trailer starts with a little bit of a fake out.
I'm playing it.
You're playing it? It's not going there?
It's up to Omar if he wants to switch it.
Oh,
but
okay.
I can watch. There it is.
The trailer starts
Sorry,
with a little
the
bit of
audio
a
was broken for a sec. I had to fix it.
starts with a little bit of a fake out from the second game, and then we see that getting into Resident Evil 3. This one's going to feature overhauled graphics and gameplay. It's got that kind of over-the-shoulder camera perspective, like the RE2 remake.
So they're not doing a Resident Evil 1 remake, or did they already do that? And I
They
missed
did
it?
a remaster, right?
For the GameCube?
So yeah, technically they did remake it. Shinji Mikami did, like he made the original and then he remade one, and then he's no longer with Capcom. Other than that, they've just remastered that. So they have the one remake of one.
Right.
Nothing further.
But that still does the old camera angles, right? 'Cause
Yeah.
But
Resident
it's
Evil.
It's just like a
right?
better. It's like we updated it to new consoles, not reinvented kind of what
Reimagined, really.
Reimagined it. Yeah,
Because
that's
like
the-
Nemesis has a design upgrade.
Oh, does
And
it?
this one, yeah.
3 was my favorite. I played 3 more than
Really?
I played 3 more than any of them
Okay.
because I was playing this. How old are you, Huber?
32. I had to think about that for a
We're
second.
about the same age.
32.
So- okay, yeah. So I'm 34. So that was around the time when I had a PlayStation 1 and like I couldn't really buy games. I couldn't afford them, so I'd borrow them from friends. So it was whatever was available. Resident Evil 2 to me was just an image on the back of a box. And one of my friends was like, well, I have 3. Do you want to borrow it? I was like, hell yeah. And I played that so many times.
That's
And so
awesome.
that was my game. That was that was the Resident Evil I played the most.
So is
That's
this
awesome.
announcement more exciting for you than 2 was?
Yeah, I for some reason, like, I played the Resident Evil 2 remake. And I was like, this is cool. I'm enjoying this, but man, if they remake 3, I'm going to be so happy.
Yeah.
I don't know. Something about having Nemesis chase you is like, he was very iconic. Like,
For sure.
the-
And they do like those weird, really cool things that they never really went back to.
Mm-hmm.
There's times when Nemesis shows up and it has a choose your own adventure style.
Really?
What you want to do. So the earliest example is the very first one. He shows up right outside of the RPD building and it's like, do you want to run away and run inside or do you want to stay and fight?
Mm-hmm.
And they have like a bunch of those throughout the game. So I'm really interested to see how they do that in this remake.
So could you theoretically take a pacifist approach, never fight Nemesis the whole game?
No, it does
Yeah.
a couple times. It does force you.
Oh, okay.
But you get bonuses if you do take him down. You get like
Yeah.
weapon parts and stuff.
It's been so long since I played it because you get like a crazy magnum from him or something, right? Is that what it
Yeah,
is?
the handgun parts. Yeah, like a better handgun.
And they did the new game plus, so that was always awesome. But yeah, I have such a positive memory of Resident Evil 3, so I'm like, yay, this is really exciting.
See, for me, Resident Evil 2 was the game.
Yeah.
That was the one that I was like, Resident Evil 1, you would maybe rent it or borrow it, but the save file is like, you don't know what's going on with the save files and stuff. You're like, why is this part unlocked? It wasn't before. It's a little confusing. Resident Evil 2 was like, oh no, you need Resident Evil 2. Kind of, it's like Twisted Metal. No one played Twisted Metal 1, but Twisted Metal 2
Everyone plays
is
it.
where it's at. So I was super into Resident Evil 2, and that's why I was into this. Resident Evil 3 completely missed me when it came out. I went in then as an adult, like watched a Let's Play of it when Let's Plays didn't have people in the bottom right corner talking over everything, and it was just a silent playthrough of a game. So I watched like a full Let's Play of it. So I was like, oh, okay, but something about her in the tube top.
That's
It's like,
great.
how does she keep the tube top? It looks like they ditched the tube
They
top for the
ditched
new
it.
one.
They did.
Full redesign.
There
Yeah.
will be a pre-order exclusive where you can get the classic costume pack.
Don't want it.
That features his original hairstyle and her tube top.
Don't want it.
And then there's like a crazy, almost $200 collector's edition that has like a statue of her and a map and all kinds of.
Is it Chris?
crazy
Is
stuff.
Chris
Carlos.
Carlos.
Yeah.
So Carlos is part of the Umbrella cleanup crew.
Okay.
Yeah.
Got it.
And we all remember at the end of the first Resident Evil movie when they say, put this guy in the Nemesis program, you go, really? Okay, I hope that comes back. And then I saw the movie years later on the Oxygen Network. I went,
The Nemesis movie?
the second
Yeah.
movie where Nemesis shows up. Yeah.
He came back.
He was there. That
didn't-
puppet sure was there. But yeah, I just saw it in bits and pieces and just went, oh, this looks like cosplay.
I'm trying to think,
cool.
like visually. So Nemesis is the one from all the MVC games who has like the scar
Yep.
and like the weird face. It's just I'm curious because the Mr. X element of 2 seemed like they were pulling Resident Evil 3 stuff and popping it in here. So I wonder what they're gonna do with Nemesis to make this unique.
Totally. My theory, because Leon is a rookie in 2 and Mr. X is an inferior Nemesis pretty much. Jill is stars and
Yeah.
the best ever. So she's just more equipped to deal with it.
Yeah.
So then the Nemesis also will be just more equipped than Mr. X.
Yeah.
So just
Because they
everything.
built the Nemesis specifically to hunt stars. That's why all he says is stars, and stripes.
Maybe he's just a big fan of whatever was it,
Dancing with.
Fun Punch or what's the?
He likes the Robin song, You and Me Together, Stars Forever.
Yeah, that's what I was
That's a
thinking.
great reference, at least.
Shooting stars.
This game also it comes inclusive with Resident Evil Project Resistance, which is the asymmetrical multiplayer 4 versus 1,
Yeah.
which a lot of people speculated was going to be released independently, and now it's being
They're just
packaged
throwing
with
it in
this.
there.
Yeah, so you one player is the mastermind, and they like use these decks of monsters and traps to like manipulate the environment, and then the 4 other survivors like work together, and they have to try to
Zombie
escape.
U, classic Zombie
Yeah.
U gameplay coming back.
The mastermind can take control of zombies and Mr. X. So we will get to play as Mr. X, punching our friends.
That soundtrack. I think that like coming into this, there's no real concern, right? Like I think everyone was blown away by Resident Evil 2 remake. The fact that it's getting on Game of the Year lists is pretty incredible. So I have confidence in it.
There's certain games that come out that you just go, you can just keep giving me this over and over. And like when Resident Evil 2 came out, I was like, you can just feed this. When Arkham Asylum came out, I was like, repackage this as many times as you want to. I'll keep playing it. Like, I don't care. And so I think we have at least a solid, 6 years of they can just do Resident Evil 4 again.
Yeah.
So
Code
next year,
Veronica
I was gonna say
next.
Code Veronica.
What was the first-person shooter one on PlayStation 1?
Survivor.
Yeah, I beat that one.
If they remade that.
Yeah.
Throw them all in,
The next game is coming out pretty soon. It's Dragon Ball Z Kakarot. That comes out on the 16th of January, pretty much across consoles except for Switch. From CyberConnect and Bandai Namco.
Mm-hmm. CyberConnect, the company that's made the Xenoverse games.
They did the Naruto Ultimate Ninja Storm games that are like really good at what they do. If you love Naruto, you just kind of replay.
Like hitting square,
the anime.
triangle, square, circle,
Yeah.
square.
Yeah, not the deepest combat,
Yeah.
but like definitely captures the vibe of that show.
And I think like everybody was pretty impressed by the combat in Dragon Ball Fighters, right?
Yeah, but
Like,
this is not that.
This is not that.
This
This is single player action RPG, and you're playing through the Dragon Ball Z storyline. So basically, like what the manga and anime are doing, possibly through Cell Saga, but
through Boo.
Majin
They've
Buu.
already shown Buu
Yeah, they
stuff.
showed that trailer. But the series creator is involved.
Toriyama.
Yeah,
Cool.
Akira Toriyama.
He
is
just
involved.
looks at it and goes, "Yep, this
Yeah.
is what I made."
Yeah, you did it.
So there's already like some early buzz coming out about this one because it's coming out so soon. But that it does something that plays into the tropes of the series, which is it creates unbalanced fights, like uneven fights, where like
Whoa.
the person you're fighting is so OP, and then you're trying to figure out how you and like one other person can take them down.
But it's like scripted deaths because like if you're playing as Goku, you die a lot,
I don't
and
know.
you commit suicide at least once while you're looking at your son and giving him a thumbs up.
This
Love
is,
it, kid.
This is what Tech Advisor said about it. They said, it comes down to the heart of the series combat, entirely uneven fights. A fighting game like Fighters obviously has to round every combatant down to the same level to give C-tier heroes a chance against the series' biggest of bads.
Tell that to Krillin's hitbox.
Kakarot does not. So you have to like, if you get to like a baddie that's an A and you're a C, you've got to find another C to like team up with and
Interesting.
take on. But I have seen criticism that the RPG elements like side quests aren't really that interesting.
I mean, they've made a lot of Dragon Ball Z games at this point, and it's just they're figuring out new ways to just ship it back out again.
Does it look too Budokai though? I don't like the Budokai games.
I've never been.
You can laugh at me. That's fine.
It's just the way. Does it look too
I
Budokai?
still don't think that they've truly figured out how to do the over-the-shoulder Dragon Ball fighting. It just ultimately becomes a target lock on, and then just a bunch of people zipping around, which doesn't feel like Dragon Ball Z. Fighters, while still very much fighting game, feels when you watch that, it feels like a Dragon Ball Z fight that just happens to take place mostly on the ground. I wish that there was some sort of new combat mechanic, and maybe there is more than what they've shown, but what it just looks like the kind of thing where you hold right bumper, now you're going to fire a Kamehameha, it fires a Kamehameha, and it says 1,000 hit combo, and then you did 250,000 damage or whatever, And it just feels I wish we could figure out a different system. Did you ever play Dragon Ball Legends?
Legends? I don't think so.
Anyone know Legends?
No.
Was it on Game Boy or DS or a
No,
handheld
it was
one?
on Sega Saturn
Okay,
and
definitely
PlayStation.
not. Nope.
I played GT, the GT
No,
Fighters
GT's
game.
garbage. That's
Yeah,
trash.
I know.
Except it had the big. What was the name of Baby?
Oh,
Right?
Babby or something.
Whatever. It was
Yeah.
like the giant gold. Anyway.
Oh, John Imba, dude. I love that.
I have no idea what these words you're saying, and I watched the show.
There was this game called Dragon Ball Legends, which was a 3v3 fighter where just it was just a world, and it had its own custom fighting system, whereas these sprites just going around killing each other like crazy, and it was like a tug of war. So you're trying to build up damage and power by doing these big long combo chains against other people and stuff. And it felt like, it's more than any other game probably, it felt like Dragon Ball Z fighting. And I'd love to see some sort of attempt at a re-innovation of that. If your team got your thing all the way to full, then you could, whichever character you were, would do one of their handful of moves. And when you're playing through, because you could just play through the whole campaign from the beginning, from like Nappa Vegeta all the way through to Boo. Kid Buu.
Are those the sprites they rip off for like Salty Bets and stuff?
No,
the
those look
Mugen-
better. Those look like the ultimate battle
Okay.
sprites and stuff.
Okay.
But these are tiny. Like they're microscopic, but it was fun because you could swap in and out your team and stuff. So if it's like that first thing where, the Cybermen are there and it's Nappa, you would have access to Tien, Yamcha, and
Chaozu.
Goku. I don't think Chaozu ever made it in, unfortunately. But you'd have like
D-tier.
most of them, and then you could pick 3, and then if you pause the game, it would pull back out to this thing where Supreme Kai is like watching, and the side like Chaozu would be there, and they'd have this dialogue back and forth, and then you could swap out Goku for this person, and the game would reward you if you were able to do it so Goku comes in and beats Vegeta, but only after Krillin hits him with the Destructo disc. Like it would reward you in different ways. It felt really fun
It's passion.
Yeah.
for Dragon Ball
This is
Legends.
what we
Feeling it.
want for Q1 2020.
I mean,
just
they're-
don't want it
but-
to be-
I know, but bless them for trying. They're
Yeah.
trying. They've been trying this for years. That the year of our Lord 2019 and 2020, Dragon Ball Z is still relevant in some weird way.
And
that
let's revisit the storyline,
yeah, well,
again.
but then also like play it as a video game. Like this is the game I was like dreaming of when I was in like 7th grade. Of
Yeah.
like, someone please make this. Oh my god! And it seems like they're getting close. I give another 10 years. I think we're close.
Like you were talking about age earlier, and it's like, how many times can we go through the same story though?
countless.
So many times.
Let's count.
it's timeless.
Yeah.
Let's see.
Nostalgia is a hell of a
biblical.
drug.
Yeah. Like
Yeah, it really
Xenoverse.
is.
Xenoverse is like a super weird game, but I like how they took a weird chance with the story. you
Oh,
know?
yeah.
Like that was fun.
Yeah.
Just kind of messing with the established narrative.
Mm-hmm.
But
Budokai had those fun dream bouts. Where it'd
yeah.
be like, what if Krillin beat Frieza?
They did
Like-
Marvel What If before Marvel ever did Marvel.
Well, it was way after.
Oh,
but yes,
okay.
yeah.
Yeah, well, in the comic, in the comics, I
And then
mean.
Dragon Ball Fighters tried to do the weird story element where they're like, someone's controlling my body. You, and they look at the
Yeah,
camera.
so
They're like-
weird.
they're like,
Didn't
we
need
don't
that.
we don't need this. It's okay. They're like, we need a canon reason why you're controlling different characters.
In their defense, they built one of the most solid fighting games of like the
Absolutely.
last 5 years.
Oh, and it's gorgeous.
And then they're like, people are gonna complain. Someone's gonna post on NeoGAF. They're like, NeoGAF is closed. They're like, someone will find a way to post on NeoGAF complaining about the fact that there's no single player in this pure unadulterated fighter.
Well, the next game is completely original. It's brand new IP.
don't want.
It is from teams behind Far Cry, Batman Arkham series, Alec Hutchinson, who you know from Assassin's Creed. It's Journey to the Savage Planet, coming January 28th across consoles except for Switch.
Wait, this is Rocksteady? No.
No, it's Typhoon
okay, sorry.
Studios, which is new,
Sorry,
and then
okay.
505. But it's a co-op first-person adventure game. The co-op is for 2 people, and it's kind of like a sci-fi comedy. It's this bright, colorful alien world that you're in, tons of zany creatures. You play as a member of this interstellar exploration unit called Kindred Aerospace. You're sent to chart planets deep into the far reaches of the universe, and you kind of get there, but then realize that there's no real plan, and your equipment kind of sucks, and you're supposed to explore and catalog what's happening there, and determine whether a planet is fit for habitation. For me, it kind of feels a bit like No Man's Sky, Astroneer, but with a cheekier,
Wilds.
with the cheekier like twist to the.
You're just on the
You
one
know.
planet the whole time?
I think you are
Don't
just on
spoil
the.
it for me, Elise.
I think you are just on the one planet.
I had the opportunity to play this at E3,
Oh, yeah?
and it was cool because I get really easily overwhelmed in survival games.
'Cause they're so vast.
There's just so much, and I'm really bad at building things, and that's just not how my brain works.
Micromanaging.
Yeah, this felt lean. So there wasn't a ton of, crafting materials and stuff. There was a good amount.
Yeah.
I
But
feel
it,
the same way.
yeah, it felt just a little more focused.
I like knowing that there's an end game. So like games like Astroneer, where it's kind of like just go and enjoy the world. I'm sort of like, I kind of want you to tell me. I kind of want you to tell me what I need to achieve here.
Yeah.
And it's not just like get to the moon or whatever.
Totally.
I
A little direction.
this to me feels like I think it's about a 10-hour game too. which is manageable
Yes.
too.
Looks cute.
Yeah, I dig it.
When you kill those little alien things, they explode really cool. It's kind of addicting. They're just like bloop, and like green sludge or blue sludge goes over.
It seems to be like so they show like a little chain whip thing, and then he's got like a double jump ability. I'm guessing those are things like you unlock and you get the Metrovania style thing. I know it's like it's game design 101. It's been done for a million years, but like that at least I like when games do that, where they throw into a big world, but you can't go to it all.
Yeah.
And then they go, oh, but you unlock this ability, and now you can. You're like, okay, good. I'm glad we're still doing that. 20 years later since it was invented, but it's still, I like those types of games.
You're kind of spot on. Game Informer said that Alec Hutchinson described it as Metrovania meets Subnautica and Far Cry.
Okay.
So like,
That sounds fun.
You want to throw in another game, Alex? We got
No Man's
space.
Sky.
I would say when No Man's Sky became like an actual game, like, and you started getting in, I was like, oh no, I kind of dig how vast this was. But then there would be, you get to that one point where it'd be like, complete the Bloister engine, and you're like, what? And then you'd hover over it, and it'd show you the things you need, and you're like, a purple globule, and then you hover over that, and it just gives you like the elements that you need. You're like, I don't know, you're too many steps. I want a little bit of focus.
But then you're running out of oxygen. You're like, God
Yeah,
damn it.
yeah,
And then you
yeah.
got to go do that. And you're like, oh, you need Balerium. Like, what is
you'll
Balerium
appreciate
do?
this then for many reasons. There's a futuristic food substitute
okay,
that you eat in the game.
I mean, a present day food substitute if it's me.
I know. It's called Grob.
Love it.
And you can use it to replenish health, or you can use it to like lure creatures and stuff.
What's the macros?
I don't know. I don't know what Grob macros are.
All right, well, let me know if you find out.
Yeah, I think like with games like this, when a game attempts humor, there's always an opportunity or a chance the humor can fall flat. So hopefully it doesn't come off as just like cheesy. And I do think that if you like those big expansive games, this might feel limiting to you. I don't know.
Yeah. And if you have another player to kind of jump
Oh,
in
yeah.
there and experience it with,
Totally.
that's already an incentive for me. Like if they said it's a massive multiplayer, I'm out. But when they're like
There's
drop one
out.
person in there and they can
Yeah.
join you in this little world and cruise around. What was that puzzle game where you played as the robot? You're trying to get to the top of that tower. Remember?
No.
He's like, "Am I human?" And he
Deadly
Talos
Talos.
Principle?
what is it?
Talos Principle?
Talos Principle.
Oh, I never played it.
Like
That's
having
great.
one other person in that game, so you don't feel so. We basically played it together, but you have one other person
Yeah.
like, here, I'll bring the block to you, so you don't have to go all the way back and get the block again. I know that'd break all the puzzles.
Give me a brothers. Two brothers, one
No,
controller.
brothers, yeah, you need that. This, you know what this reminds me of? When are we gonna get the Maw sequel we
No.
were promised?
No one wants the Maw
That studio,
too.
did Loco Cycle Studio go under? Are they still around? What have they made? I don't know. They made the Maw. They made Loco Cycle.
Didn't they do
They launched with the Xbox One. Everyone.
Johnny Rocket or whatever?
Well, we're gonna go to a read from our sponsor, Stitch Fix. Maybe we'll find out when we come back. We won't. Personal style is like a fingerprint. Everyone has their own. Whatever your style, the expert stylists at Stitch Fix are ready to help you express yourself. It's an online personal styling service that delivers your favorite clothing brands right to your door. To get started, go to stitchfix.com/dudesoup to answer some questions about your preferred style, and your personal shopper will ship you a box of clothes, shoes, and accessories. With Stitch Fix, everyone can look their best. They have solutions for men, women, and kids all over the US and now the UK. There's no commitment required, and you only pay for what you keep. Shipping, exchanges, and returns are always free. Plus, the $20 styling fee is automatically applied toward anything you keep from your box. You'll never have to think about looking good again with Stitch Fix. Get started today at stitchfix.com/dudesoup, DUDESOUP, and get an extra 25% off when you keep everything in your box. That's stitchfix.com/dudesoup, stitchfix.com/dudesoup. Thank you, Stitch Fix, for your sponsorship. Adam, did you
It
determine?
was Twisted Pixel Games.
Uh-huh.
They're in Austin, and I think it says. I think they separated from Microsoft. Now they're independent as of 2015.
Oh,
Oh, but
So-
they haven't released a game. Oh, there's other games there.
Yeah,
Okay.
maybe.
When are we gonna get the Splosion Man sequel we were promised? And don't tell me Ms. Man.
Oh, they've been making Oculus games.
Okay.
It was Loco Cycle, took a 4-year break. Wilson's Heart for the Oculus, B Team, and Defector. These are all Oculus Rift
Okay,
titles.
got it. All right. So no Maw. Great.
Never. I didn't know.
understand.
Where did they go?
No Maw.
well, we're going to get to the Final Fantasy VII Remake. But first, we get a little something for me. and that's Ori and the Will of the Wisps.
Nice.
Okay.
I'm there with you.
Monster.
Coming February 11th to the Xbox One and PC. It's a Microsoft exclusive, at least windowed. Okay, guys.
Exclusively windowed. At
PC,
least.
PS4 fanboys, ease up. But we all know Ori. We all love the franchise.
Do we still have console fanboys? Is that a thing? My plastic's better than your plastic.
It was reignited with the MLB The Show news earlier this
I
week.
heard about
What?
that.
What
Yeah.
happened?
Well, MLB The Show is an in-house Sony game, and now because MLB is like bigger than Sony, they're starting in 2021. It'll be on Switch and Xbox as well. So when you boot up the MLB The Show on Xbox, it's gonna say Sony Computer Entertainment, Sony San Diego. Like
What?
Wow,
Pretty mind
break
blowing.
down the walls of Jericho.
Were the Xbox
Yeah.
fanboys like reject?
no, the Sony people were like pretty upset. It
Aw.
was just like silly.
So
It's
many
like
other-
let everyone just play everything.
No,
I know.
only on mine.
Thank God we've still got Ori.
I feel like that feels like the kind of thing where the Sony people are like, dang it. Except what they're actually thinking is the contract that they completely voluntarily signed that said, yes, we can make more money if we
Yeah.
sell this. And no,
I like when
but our
Microsoft,
fans.
I remember Microsoft came like, here's Vivi Pinata. No one's playing it. Nintendo's like, we'll put it on our little kid toy. They're like, yes,
They're like,
that makes sense. And they put it on the 3D. Yeah, they went, darn, it's going somewhere where it's going to make money.
Curses.
Anyway, I'm sorry. Console
No.
Wars. Ori.
Ori.
It's got an owl.
It looks beautiful.
Looks great.
It's one of those situations where my only point of concern was I'm happy with more of the same, but then you also want to feel like what's the evolution of this game and this franchise. And thanks to previews, we do know that like there are going to be new abilities that you can do because it's Metroidvania, so you get those those abilities that you can return to areas and they're cool. And we gotta, I guess there
Where's the
are
fat
lots
guy?
of. Well, he's not a fat guy.
But there was a
He was
fat
your
guy in the
he was
first
your
one.
keeper.
Yeah, what? I never
Dies
played
of old
it.
age.
Oh, he died?
Opening scene's probably gonna be dying. He dies
Yeah,
of old
someone's
age.
gonna die.
Oh.
And then Ori kills the little baby owls that remain.
Well, in the E3 2019 trailer, there was an owl that was like mourning by some statues. And there was a storm.
But the
raging.
bad guy in the first game is the big owl.
Oh.
And then Ori defeats the big owl, but realized the big owl had babies. She was just protecting her babies.
Yeah.
So then the very last, if you stay through the credits, the very last scene of Ori, spoiler, is Ori takes the legs of the baby owls, dashes the babies against the rocks to make
Cool.
sure they can't seek revenge.
This is a kid's game.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's not a kid's game at all. No.
How
It
is
took me 30
It's tough.
flipping tries to get through that final level.
It's tough. It has some like accelerated gameplay moments. They're kind of like in Rayman Legends. They had those like music sections. It reminded me of those because you're just like flying through them, hoping for the best. I wrote here, can these Hooters be saved? I don't know, but
How is it better than Shovel Knight?
Completely, entirely different. I would say.
Yeah, they're not the
different.
same.
Shovel Knight-
100% different.
Graphically, it
more
looks the
linear.
same.
No, Ori has had in all games some of the best timed sequences. Like you ever have those games where it's like how did you know I was gonna jump there? So that
Yeah.
way when I jumped, the crab swiped its thing under and it's like scripted, it's like pseudo scripted, but like how did you know I was going to do that then? And how did you make it so close? Ori
is-
has some amazing moments like that.
Yeah, just a beautiful game. Like whenever story and gameplay comes together perfectly, like that is the best. I feel like Ori is perfect at what it does, And I think at least you know that what are they going to do for the sequel to make
yeah,
it?
what new mechanics
Yeah.
are we going to see that are going to make it in like a refresh?
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. Ori also is very Metroidvania.
That genre has
too.
been
like
out of control in the last
Yeah.
couple of years. You brought up Shovel Knight. Not really Metroidvania, but I'm thinking of like Hollow Knight,
Hollow Knight
I'm
is
playing
what I think
Bloodstained
of.
right now.
Bloodstained,
Hollow Knight was like
Melee.
Hollow Knight was this year. I think came out on
No,
Switch.
yeah, it came out Switch this year,
Switch
right?
this year.
But
I
it
played
came
it.
out before.
I finally played through it, and I was like, this game is amazing and
Yeah.
gorgeous. Ori, I've been meaning to. It's not anywhere near Switch, right? It's Microsoft only, or
I think it is.
I don't know. It might be on like other platforms.
I think I
now.
tried playing it on a laptop once, and it just like drained immediately because it's like graphics. I'm like, okay, too much. It is one I've been desperately meaning to go back and
There are too many
play.
games, and sometimes I've found now that like playing games that are episodic and little chunks help, which is why I'm excited. Final Fantasy VII, it's just a little episode.
Here's the
It's
thing.
just a little
Little-
taste.
Here's the thing.
Just a
They keep
small
calling it Final Fantasy VII Remake, and it should be called Final Fantasy VII the first 2 rings of Disc 1 Remake. Because this episode is going to end after the first sector
Midgar
falls,
Yeah.
right? Like that's when it's going to end. Which, when I played this game, bought it, picked it up at Babbage's, brought it home,
Shout out to
put
Babbage.
it right in, said, "Let's check it out." That's where I stopped the first night. Played through that whole opening section, all the honeybee,
Madman.
But they're
all
also,
this stuff.
but they're reimagining it too, where they're adding. I mean, the game looks completely different.
Yeah, they're gonna
This is what I
change
wanted.
so much.
To be clear, this is what I wanted when they said we're remaking it. I was like, please don't just update the graphics.
Yeah.
Like, it's fine. I've played it not too long ago. The game is fine. You don't need to touch, unless you're going to make it new and add things and change the mechanics and like make it what they did with Resident Evil.
Yeah, it comes out March 3rd. PS4 exclusive. Console wars are raging,
It's a
hotter than
timed
ever.
exclusive. It's a year exclusive, right?
I think so, right?
You can't complain about that.
But like you said,
can.
It's PlayStation exclusive.
they're gonna
back
expand the
then.
Midgar section. Expected to fill 2 Blu-ray discs.
Will it be gender sensitive? Is what I want to know.
What are you
With
talking about?
The whole sequence where
Cross-dressing
Cloud has
scene?
to dress up,
They kind of like
cross-dress.
teased it. Didn't they tease it a little bit? I think they're gonna go through with it. I think it's going down.
Yeah, but is it going to? The first one is not too kind.
Yeah.
On the subject matter
Yeah.
of it.
Well,
Is
yeah,
it
doesn't
going
that
to
guy
be-
like corners Cloud and he's like, "Hey, cutie," and he's just like,
Yeah.
Yeah.
it's just dot dot dot
Yeah.
dot dot dot.
No,
Yeah.
it looks great. I just feel like I'm having the flashes of my childhood, and I'm going. I played all of that in one night. They swung. They just all that was left was the remnants of that playground, which you couldn't interact with it because it was all pre-rendered. But the playground was there, and I was like, I gotta go to bed.
Well, but now it's going to be 40 hours, right, for this one episode,
Oh my
or
God.
60
Is it
or some
really?
shit.
Or
Can't
Yeah,
even imagine.
yeah, it's basically a full game for the one episode.
So that means, how old am I going to be when we get to Golden Saucer? 80?
That's the thing
Couple
too,
more years,
is
probably.
because it's expected that this is going to release across gens, like PS4, PS5 too, which is kind of weird.
Kind of has to.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. But the new consoles are just sort of we're no longer inventing new technology for the consoles other than like it we're no longer in the
Pack.
well, yeah, exactly. We're not doing
Ray
cell
tracing.
Yeah, we're not doing emotion engine or cell technology anymore. Now it's like it's the next ATI card. It's it's DDR5 RAM versus DDR4 RAM. So it's like it is becoming more PC-esque in that sense. So it's like it will be able to scale most likely, or at least it should, unless Sony pulls something out crazy and they're like quantum computing. It's in a PS5 only. Psych, you know. But
It's weird because, like, for
Tifa
someone
had-
like me who never played it, I'm curious if like my perception of the game is going to be so wildly different.
Well, that's awesome.
Than like yours.
Well, no,
That's why I love remakes and remasters,
this
because
is what
it,
we all saw though.
Yes,
Yeah.
it is.
like
It
remakes
is.
and remasters, at least, like you now get to come in on the ground floor with this game.
But
and
if mine's a 40-hour game compared to your like, you know what you said,
No, well, yours
6
is-
hours maybe.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying, though. Yours is going to be, when it's all said and done, a
It's gonna be like 120 hours.
800-hour game. It's like one of my Civ matches.
And we're gonna be like, wait till you find Vincent Valentine. You're gonna go, who?
Yeah, I know.
And then we go, let's watch
He's in
Advent
the
Children
basement.
tonight.
I feel like that's one of the highest stakes releases of 2020.
Yeah.
The stakes are so high. The budget is so huge.
Yeah.
The reputation of
Expectations.
the reputation of not only what is considered one of the greatest games of all time by a lot of people, but just the reputation of JRPGs. Like, there's so much riding on this game.
Imagine if it works. Imagine if this sells gangbusters.
It's going to.
Everyone's going to go
gonna be
Chrono
awesome.
Trigger. Like,
Oh, no.
it's going to be
no,
every.
I love Chrono Trigger.
Yeah,
Remake,
I
Chrono
love
Trigger
this.
remake coming.
But it's going to be
Xenogears.
Chrono Trigger, and you're like, you're going to get to the trial.
Yeah.
It's going to end when you get to the trial, and that's going to be it.
Derelict
You know, like they're just
Factory.
going to go digging through everything. And then
Valiant
how can
Story
we do this?
and
Wild
Vagrant
Arms,
Story.
Legend of Dragoon and Fear Effect.
Suikoden remastered.
Dude, don't
with,
even.
With
I can't do
3
this.
times the characters.
You're gonna break hubris.
Yes.
We've got 700 stars or whatever that we gotta find.
Man.
There's stuff that is changing to kind of it seems like ease the gameplay. There's an altered ATB system, so it feels faster, and you can halt action to use your abilities. You can also use shortcut buttons, so you can play in real time without pausing. You can run and attack freely. You can also switch between characters on the fly during battles to use individual battles or abilities specifically. So like, it does seem like it's going to be a bit more fluid than what you know from the original. So it might.
Oh.
And no fear, like Resident Evil 2 is my favorite game of all time.
fear.
The original. When Remake 2 was coming out, I was like, the worst case scenario is that this is bad and I still have the original game.
Yeah, I agree.
I feel like it's the same with this.
Yeah, this is it's just Resident Evil. It spiritually feels the same. This looks so different. It looks so crazy. And Final Fantasy VII is one of my like all-time favorite games. I maxed out the clock on it 3 times, playing 3 different. It's like we did everything: Golden Chocobos, Emerald Weapon, Ruby Weapon, Desert Rose, everything. Ultima, Knights of the Round.
Yeah,
popped a Game Shark in, went crazy with it. Like I played the shit out of this game, and I'm looking at this and I'm like, I don't know what I'm looking at.
Well, he did. So at the very least, he gets his second limit break because he did cross slash there. But I'm curious, if this is going to be this game and then another game and another game, another game, how is that data going to work?
What do you mean?
If I find a materia all in this,
Yes.
am I going to have that?
Yeah.
What, like, am
Import
I
your
going to have
save.
that if we go into new consoles and stuff? Like, is this now a commitment forever that I have to play
This is your life
Sony
now.
consoles for the next 15 years
Oh, well-
if I want to have Omni Slash?
Could be some cross save stuff that's been
Yeah,
that's
that's
been
curious.
trending.
That is
Cross save.
That is a really good point. It's up to Square, honestly. Like,
Maybe MLB gets involved.
yeah. If you buy MLB the show, you can move your maxed out materia all, which we know sells for 1.3 million gil.
Yeah.
It makes the most money. Yeah.
My truffle greens or whatever. Am I going to be able to item clone? Because that saved me a lot of time when I was trying to breed that gold chocobo and try and get Knights of the Round.
I'll tell you this though, Knights of the Round still can't skip the cutscene. Even if you do Knights of the Round times 9, gotta watch it all.
Gotta watch it all.
That's true to the game.
Sephiroth's just floating there going, fuck.
You know, it's funny because think about the first time you saw Knights of the Round as a kid. You're like, I've never seen life until today. This is the potential of everything. One shot from this trailer is more than
More
is contained
polygons,
within
yeah.
Knights of the Round.
That too. I'm psyched for Sephiroth mind games. Like it looks like he's in Cloud's head like never before, and just I wonder if they're gonna if he's just gonna keep seeing Sephiroth pop up
Will
like,
it make
all the
it
time.
better or worse if they explain more of the insane Japanese nonsense of like, let's show more of Genova's past? You're like,
Geostigma. and all
yeah,
this?
maybe we. I don't know. Like, did you ever want to play that prequel story as Zack? Like, not really, but sure, let's do it. Why not? Give me more.
I am
whatever.
genuinely curious though, because my opinion is that for as bonkers as these games were when they came out, like you could still, your dumb child brain could still like follow it somewhat and like understand the stakes.
Cloud
but
sad.
as it's gotten further along, basically like post 10, it's all gotten up its own ass. It's like super bonkers, and you have to like do like homework, extra reading. Final
13
Fantasy
was so confusing.
Final Fantasy 13, I beat all the way through and did a ton of extra shit, put a ton of hours into it, beat it all the way through, and did understand it, but only because I did extra reading.
Yeah.
You went into their little dialogue box and you had to explain what the Lassie is, the Fal'Cie, and all this stuff. Had no idea what was going on when I tried to play Final Fantasy 15. No idea whatsoever, and kind of just gave up on that.
Sick road trip.
Are they going to find a
Yo, you
way-
gotta watch Kingsglaive, dude.
Yeah, it's all this. That's the key.
It's on you.
Oh, of course.
You gotta read all the comics.
You're the problem.
But are they going to take what was already a confusing but still somewhere borderline coherent story and then modern Final Fantasy it, or are they going to take this opportunity to make it an actual coherent story without going so far into the deep end?
Yeah.
I
Like
don't know.
focus just on the characters. you
Yeah,
know?
see the
Find out.
materia on his sword. It's
Yeah,
so cool.
well, that's
Find
pretty
out.
good.
That's
Two
my
slots.
My only wish is that I can use the Buster Sword the whole game. I know
Oh,
you
okay.
can like limit yourself and
Yeah.
like do that if you want to, but I'm not that good.
I wonder
no,
if they're
no.
gonna do like skins.
Yeah.
Like I know, was it like Dauntless? I know can do that where you just put a skin on your weapon
and it's that
and you
like,
stay
transmogging or
yeah,
whatever.
exactly.
that's
So you
cool.
keep it.
That's a good idea.
Because yes, I agree with you. Buster Sword's iconic and I love it.
Well, we're going to get a quick word from Upstart right now. And then after that break, we're going to talk about a bunch of big games, Doom Eternal included.
Final Fantasy VII, Episode 1.
Here's a word from Upstart. As most of us have found out, the hard way getting into debt is easy. Getting out is hard, especially if your credit score isn't great. Thankfully, now there's Upstart.com, the revolutionary lending platform that knows you're more than just your credit score and offers smarter interest rates to help you pay off high-interest credit card debt. We've all been there or have had friends or family members who are getting by week to week, paycheck to paycheck, and it truly sucks. But you can find a fresh start with Upstart. Upstart goes beyond the traditional credit score when assessing your credit worthiness. That means they actually reward you based on your education and job history in the form of a smarter interest rate. Upstart believes you're more than just your credit score. They believe in you and they understand that. They make it fast, simple, and easy to check your rate in just a few minutes. And the best part, once your loan is approved and accepted, most people get their funds the very next business day. The next day. That's kind of unheard of. Over 300,000 people have used Upstart to pay off credit cards or meet their financial goals. You can free yourself from the burden of high-interest credit card debt by consolidating everything into one monthly payment with Upstart. So, now see why Upstart is ranked #1 in their category with over 300 businesses on Trustpilot, and hurry to upstart.com/dude to find out how low your Upstart rate is. Checking your rate only takes a few minutes and won't affect your credit. That's upstart.com/dude, D-U-D-E. Thank you, Upstart. And thank you, Upstart, for your sponsorship. We're talking about Doom Eternal now, comes out March 20th. And this comes out on everything. It's like PS4, Nintendo Switch, Xbox One, Stadia, PC. Everyone gets a piece of the pie.
Yeah.
Rip and tear until it is done. Give me this game into my veins right now.
You big Doom Slayer?
Oh, I need it.
I played the like new
2016?
Doom,
2016?
2016 Doom. Even me, I played it on the easiest difficulty.
played more than I did, yeah.
Blasting
But I was still, I
demons.
really enjoyed it. Like,
It's a great
really
game.
enjoyed it. Yeah.
Alyx, what is your weapon of choice in Doom?
Oh my God. I don't even know.
One weapon.
Probably like chainsaw, just because my range is so bad. So when I get into a sticky situation.
Looks great.
But
I'm just watching them.
anytime you can
come out.
feel powerful, Doom does it. It's the same stuff that you like from the first, new one. And this time though, you're on Earth. Because Earth suffered
Doom 2,
a
Hell on
demon
Earth.
invasion.
Was
funny.
the subtitle for the original Doom 2.
Oh,
It's funny because it's like, hey, you're on Earth now. And one shot, you're like, it doesn't matter.
Yeah, it
it
looks the
really
same.
doesn't matter. It looks like hell. Everything looks like hell.
I've been following the development of her since they've been talking about it, and just hearing them talk about it, we're like, yeah, no one's really thought about putting a hook on a shotgun. Like Roadhog's
Yeah.
come close in Overwatch, where it's like hook, bring it in, shotgun, but like it's like,
Oh.
what if you go towards them?
the grappling hook sounds super cool.
Oh yeah, there's parts where he's just flying
Yeah.
around the because you can
Yes.
like double jump and hover and like you're basically Spider-Man at one point.
Yes.
And it looks insane. And
I
love
got
it.
to play this at E3 as well. And the platforming was absolutely incredible.
Because of the grappling hook.
Because of the grappling hook, because of the enemies, you're like swinging, jump, climb, like grab onto a ledge, climb up, grapple to an enemy, swing again, launch on some guy. Like it's just, the movement is just so fluid and in your face. It's a joy. And it's taking the template of Doom 2016 and adding just that mobility and that
More.
movement, which makes the whole game feel so much
sounds
different.
This is
really, it's like Titanfall-esque.
Yeah.
This is like the next phase of things. I was talking about this with someone else, but like when Breath of the Wild came out, I was like, oh, we're getting the same shit again, right? But we have these big popular brands. Instead of taking a risk on something new, we're getting the same shit again. But the great creators are making the same stuff again in a way that that it fills in all the blanks that you left when you were a kid, kind of like the Final Fantasy thing.
You always talk about box art.
Well, I just, when you played Ocarina of Time, you thought it was this grand, epic thing with the biggest universe you could take your horse, go anywhere. If you played it now, you're like, I mean, it's the 2-minute walk from one side of the map to the other, basically.
Yeah.
But then Breath of the Wild comes out and you're like, this is the game I thought I was playing.
Yeah.
Where everything is accessible. You can do anything, you can affect anything, and the world is massive. It's true and it's massive.
Yeah.
When Doom came out, that's what that was for Doom. Like, go play Doom again, and it's just.
Well, what if you think about that and now I tell you that Doom has a double jump now?
Well, I was gonna say now.
insane.
Now for some of these things, like Doom, we've gotten past that. We just need to remind you what you loved about the original and do it in a better way. Now they're like, okay, now that you remember, we can start playing around.
Yeah.
We can play in
Yeah.
the sandbox. So let's add a grappling hook. They didn't. That's a mechanic that would have scared you in the previous Doom because it's so different. But now that we've reset the clock on Doom, grappling hook, whole kinds of new movement schemes.
Super shock.
Things you couldn't have thought of before are now in the game. And I think we're going to start getting this. It's going to be the Aliens.
Yeah.
The sequels where we're getting really great stuff that is in the world of these things that we love.
I feel like this is happening though with a few games. This happened with Destiny. I remember when it came out, and people were like, "I don't get it. I don't get what it is." I'm like, "Yeah, you have to play it. Once you play it, you'll understand it." And I was like, "It's like Borderlands, but it's in space, but it's online. You just got to play it."
Wizards.
What's that?
Wizards
in space and everything's there. Doom was similar. I remember people were really confused when 2016 came out. Lawrence, I remember, was a huge guy who worked with Lawrence. He was just
Doom
like
Slayer, yeah.
Well, he was a big advocate of it. I remember his exact tweet was like, "This is what we remember playing as kids. Like this is they have captured that magic perfectly."
Totally.
And then Jedi Fallen Order, I remember they showed the gameplay. We're like, "I don't know what this is." And there's so many of these games now where you're like, you have to play it to kind of fully understand it. And you're right. Now that we got the work out of the way, everyone's like, "Oh, I remember Doom being great."
Yeah.
It's weird they focus on the multiplayer for their marketing, but the single player is badass. I wish they would have just showed someone playing with a mouse.
Well, I feel like that's because in 2016 we were coming off the multiplayer trend where it felt like that's what everybody was gravitating to was, MMOs and they want to be playing online with a ton of people. And then everyone was like, wait a second, I just want a really well-crafted single player story. And this, I just don't want like a ton of, grunts to be taking out. Like the way that the developers talk about the gameplay in this, even the way that the enemies are coming at you is structured in a certain way so you can use your weapons in a almost like a in a way that it's like a
Artist.
like an artist, like a symphony to take
Yes.
them out. Like you're gonna, use your grappling hook to hook onto that one enemy that's gonna swing you over as you shoot at that guy, and then you're gonna pull that other guy toward you. Like it's just a whole concert that's happening.
From the little I played, Alyx, it was like you had to use your entire
Everything,
toolkit,
your arsenal.
You had to go for the melee kills to get health and armor, and you had to use the chainsaw to get ammo because I was running out of ammo with this gun, and you really had to use a lot.
The
and
game
keep
forces you to be
moving.
aggressive,
Yeah.
which I like. It like rewards you for getting up in everyone's face because I like that mechanic, and you're seeing that more and more in games. Like Control does that too, which I like. I like these things that reward you for instead of hiding in a corner and going, please don't hurt me.
What do you guys think of the Souls-esque multiplayer?
Wait, there's
Heard
a
about that?
No.
Yeah,
Tell me more.
You can be invaded by a player
in your game.
In the game, the
Oh.
player can be the demon.
Interesting.
I don't. They've
Right,
kind of gone quiet on the whole concept. I think that maybe led to the delay because
Can you turn that off?
it had a
though?
huge delay.
'Cause I definitely don't want that.
I
Unplug
doubt
from your
everyone would
router.
want to play it that way. Maybe you can just play offline, like unplug
Yeah.
your.
To me,
Because I know you could do that with the Souls
yeah,
games. You could play offline.
To me, it would feel like someone deliberately just trying to like grief me or something. And when I just want this experience, like I
Totally,
don't know.
Yeah. The only thing game devs still haven't figured out is how to not be so optimistic about what most
The
game
player base.
players, most gamers do when they have the option to do so. They're like, you'll raid together the two of you will figure out how to solve this puzzle. Nope. They just brought in all their OP gear and they used a BFG on me and then wiped me and then I lost my save.
And then they dance on your dead corpse.
Yeah.
I definitely don't think I'm great at games like this, but I do dig it and I'm excited for it. Another game I feel like we've talked about ad nauseum, but we're going to talk about it some more.
Final
is
Fantasy 7.
Cyberpunk 2077, April 16th,
Oh, man.
coming to everything but Switch.
April. Talk about a
Again.
month.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
What we know about this game, the Cybertruck might make an appearance.
It will.
Cryptic tweet exchange. It's kind of an FPS. There are lots of guns. There are first-person driving and shooting scenes. There's lots of smart tech, smart weapons in this game. It's an open-world RPG. Character customization is paramount. You can play around with your stats, your backstory and life path. Your character's gender is fluid. You start in a different location based on your choice of class, and that kind of like completely dictates your progression through the game going forward. It's a really important decision you make early on. Keanu Reeves is there as Johnny Silverhand from the original tabletop game. He's your digital ghost. There's going to be tons of romance, which is also going to be crazy because your character's sexuality is fluid. It's set in Night City,
everything.
which is not a real city, but I wish I lived there. Like there's so much like
Can I say something really cheesy?
Please.
This is a game that you don't play. You live it. You live in this game. Like the RP levels of this game are going to be off the charts. Adam Kovic, you live in this game.
Me? Am I in it right now?
Yes.
Have I been? Am I in an ice bath right now? Yeah.
I didn't even get through my list of all the crazy stuff that's in this game.
I watched a 45-minute YouTube documentary about the history of Cyberpunk this weekend. Just be like, it was recommended to me. I'm like, sure. I wonder. And when they're like, it's funny when they're reaching. They're like, RoboCop's kind of like Cyberpunk. You're like, sure, that's fine. Like the themes and the elements are there. I don't know. It looks like it's being made by people who absolutely respect the hell out of not only the tabletop, but
the genre
and like the idea of. And this only works with this 80s sort of aesthetic because modern day Cyberpunk is more like Blade Runner 2049, where it's more about climate change and advertisements are more like microtransactions, stuff like this. This is like way more baked in the 80s, which I'm super excited about because the 80s has come back and it hasn't gone anywhere for a while. With was it synthwave and all that other stuff. So I'm like, this is a game I'm probably most excited about for next year, next to Final Fantasy.
Yeah, this is easily all like it's always crazy to say, this is a GOTY contender and it's 5 months away, But the legacy of CD Projekt Red, like they're coming off The Witcher 3, which is one of the games of the decade. So I think we're right to have such sky high expectations.
Yeah.
It's definitely told us, I feel like, to have sky high expectations. I mean, I feel like The Witcher, just the sheer fact that this is their follow-up attempt, it's like have big expectations. It's not going to have microtransactions.
I still don't even know where I'm going to land on this. Not that I will like it or not, but like
really,
I don't know if I'm going to have time.
Okay.
Sometimes when I see
thing.
these big expansive things, I'm like, what? Okay,
so
it comes out in April 16th,
Yeah.
right? Which means I'm probably not going to get to touch it until end of May or something like that.
It'll be
that's what-
spoiled to all hell by
3
then.
days
Ending
after
will
the
be on
anniversary of the Titanic sinking.
Yeah.
So you're going to be pre-caught up with that.
April's just a stacked month.
So is it just a time issue? Like
Oh yeah, I mean no, it's interest. I'm there. Like
Okay.
there are some. I never got into Mass Effect, like where part of the game is literally walking up to people having conversations with them. It's like I don't do that in real life. I don't know that I necessarily want to do that in a game, but I do think that this looks like it's like okay, well you can pick and choose how deep you want to go. You want to be a social person, or you want to start shoot and sit. You want to drive around or whatever. So. I'm definitely excited for this game. I just think it seems so massive. I don't know how much time.
I mean, The Witcher 3 was 90 plus hours.
Yeah.
Never
I walked away from The Witcher.
Took me 90 plus hours.
I couldn't. We've talked about this before, but like Witcher's combat isn't for me. It's but Cyberpunk definitely is more. I'm more of a first-person shooter kind of guy anyway, and I do like RPGs. I really like Deus Ex, the new ones, the Square ones. They've been great, and this looks more of that. But the same way I guess Doom 2016 is to Doom 3, Cyberpunk is to Deus Ex and Human Revolution, and what was the second one called?
Mankind Divided.
Mankind Divided.
Yeah.
I enjoyed both those games.
Yeah. Dishonored 1 and 2.
Yes.
Yes.
And the
It's
fact
like
that they're
steampunk to me. Dishonored though.
Just the vibe, like the immersive sim vibe of like RPing in this world.
Yeah, the fact that you are absolutely a morally great character in this world. There are no good or bad guys, and like you in a game where you're like, I'm going to be the good guy, but the choices are fuck you and go fuck yourself, and or just leave or shoot the guy in the head. And it's like because these are the only choices you can make. I'm like, this is fun.
Well, Adam, the future does not stop there. For in March, we also have Half-Life Alyx coming to Valve Index, HTC Vive, Oculus Rift, Oculus Quest with Link, Windows Mixed Reality.
They did it.
They're doing
How
it.
big of a
did it.
sigh do you think they like the executive team let out before they allowed this to be made?
Why?
It just seemed like they were ready to move on. This is like when Katherine Heigl says, "I'm leaving Grey's Anatomy. I'm a movie star."
What a
and
comparison.
Then and then she does it for a little while, and everyone goes, "She kind of got a shitty reputation. She's not that fun to work with, and she's just kind of she stood out in the small pond of Grey's Anatomy, but in the grand scheme of A-list actors, she's just kind of another person." And then so she's like, "Fine, I'll do the reunion."
To me, I know a lot of people are upset that this is VR, obviously. And the whole index situation, that is a huge investment. Like we all want Half-Life 3, but this to me means we are one step closer to that reality.
Because I'm sure that they'll be judging how this performs
Yes.
based on whether to develop future stuff in this franchise.
It's also
'Cause
a prequel.
it's
type
not.
game,
Yeah, it's
so-
between Half-Life and Half-Life 2.
Well,
Let me play as dog.
Also,
really?
No, let me. I
Oh,
hope
you want to
can.
be? You want to play?
Also-
build dog, play as
I mean,
dog.
there's weird things too, where again we're talking about what games meant to us and what they were. There's a situation where the reason people are still talking about Half-Life and Half-Life 2 is because what it chose to do with that genre, with the game that it was making at the time compared to what everyone else was doing, and it was like, we're gonna make our own thing because we think this is the right path. Boom, huge, historical, memorable. No one can get enough of it. This, I don't know that VR as a whole is ready, but
If anyone can do it, though, it's them, right? If anyone can,
if anyone's invested in doing it,
optimism.
yeah. I feel like if
They have to.
because Half-Life 1 and 2 just moved the entire industry forward. I feel like if anyone can do that with VR, it's Valve. Like this could be,
This is their house.
Yeah.
like this could be 2 years
They're-
ahead of
they're-
all other VR games. 3
They're
years.
the gaming industry's David Bowie. Everyone looks to him
James
and goes,
Cameron or something.
yeah, where they're like, oh, they're moving the needle. So like,
Mm-hmm.
if Valve is making a signature VR title based on their one of the thing that made them who they are, maybe the industry will go, oh, we haven't been going about this VR thing correctly. I hope the game does that because it looks like it's trying to, but it's going to be. It all comes down to movement.
Yep.
Like, how are you going to move around the room? Are you going to be sitting in a chair, or do I have to like gorn it and like it?
Yeah.
There's still
Can
too
you
many
move
little
fluidly,
things.
or are you going to be doing these weird micro movements?
Yeah,
To try
am
to
I
make
going to
stuff
get
work?
sick when I move my head left or
mean-
right the wrong way? Like,
I just feel like the answer to these. You have until March
yeah.
to
Get
buy
your
a
sea
new
legs.
home. Like I don't understand. Like
I'm building it now.
to have a completely new den or loft or bedroom added on to your current living situation that is fully set up to accommodate this game. It's like, I get it. Like, when Half-Life and Half-Life 2 came out, I was in the situation where I was like, I can't play these games. Like I don't have a computer that can play these games.
Yeah.
There's always barriers to entry, but I do think
You didn't play when it came to Dreamcast
This
years
is-
later?
no.
This is like the most extreme barrier.
Yeah, I had to wait for Orange Box to play through Half-Life 2, but like this is now a barrier that I don't know how in our society where housing prices are shooting through the roof, like there's a whole different thing here.
The hardware to use it it's not top tier, but like it's
premium,
more,
expensive
it's more
stuff.
affordable than it was whatever when we first saw VR. When
Yeah.
we went to Valve and they first showed it to us and it was like in a bucket and they're like, it kind of works. Like, you want to try it out? And it was like all little lights and diodes everywhere. But like,
And I still think of it as peripheral at that too.
What do you mean?
Like it's like the VR headsets.
yeah,
Yeah.
it just
But even then, the VR that we had then, while technically has improved, the situation hasn't for us.
Right.
We tried to do VR here the
So
other
annoying.
day in a room that we've, to the best of our ability, tried to make VR capable, and you're smashing your hand on a table. You're
squatting on the ground.
At one point, I was like, "Oh, it loaded in wrong," and so I need to reach up there. And I stepped up, and the cord attached to my head just wrenched me backwards. Like, we still have so many other things that are barriers between us. No matter if this game is great, there's just
Yeah.
no way.
So Omar just showed me a news story today. This week, Oculus Quest is getting hand tracking because it has the cameras built in. Like Oculus Quest is actually, I don't know if you've tried it before.
No.
It's just it's a self-contained unit,
Nice.
and you can now plug a USB 3 cable directly into your computer, and it will use it as a normal headset.
Yeah.
Wow.
And so the fact that it's doing, I don't know how good the hand tracking is going to be, but like if you could use hand tracking instead of controllers, pretty cool.
If you
And-
did
and you can-
Void, Void doesn't
Yes,
have any gloves.
yeah.
right? Because
You
it
think
does,
about it,
does
the
the
Void
magic
VR
leap thing, or
and
whatever.
then you can do this, and it'll know where your hands are.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Knuckles.
It's nuts.
I know, because right now the Knuckles are probably the best thing, which are $300
Yeah.
controllers.
Yep.
Still, once again, it's like Before it was, I have to pre-order this ATI card so I can play Half-Life 2. Oh, I have to install this thing called Steam. What the hell? Like that's what it was.
Well,
that was the barrier back in the
Adam,
day.
what if I told you that the game will also ship with a set of Source 2 modding tools so you can make your own player-created mods?
Snadreed?
Settle
No.
down.
Oh.
Settle down. Don't jump across the table and hurt her.
Will there be a post-credits scene featuring
Setting up.
Gordon Freeman? Yes or no?
Coming out of stasis?
Yes or no?
No, it's going to be Chell. And it's going to be like, Alex is going to,
my God.
her dad's going to be like, he's going to be like, you go, oh, hey, your old college roommate's here. Chell.
It's going to be
And
with,
she's just deaf, holding a
who's-
potato.
Who's the
Lemons.
lemon guy?
What?
J.K. Simmons lemon guy?
Yeah, he's dead. Cave Johnson died.
Cave Johnson.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He,
Well, this is an earlier game, so it'd be good.
they're the same universe, goddammit. I am so, that would actually be pretty rad if at the very end they go, Alex, we've got this experimental gun from the, what are they called? The Borealis.
Combine.
The Aperture Labs. And they go,
Yeah.
and it's an early portal gun or something. You're like, oh, Portal Half-Life.
It would be
Would you
cool.
like some cake? That's it. Hit you over the head with it.
Well, we're going to take a read from one of our sponsors, but then after the break, you guessed it, Animal Crossing New Horizons
That's what you went
discussion. But first, a word from Hims. You've probably heard us talk about Hims before. Lawrence Sontag has mentioned using it. He was feeling a little bit insecure about his hair, so he started taking it and had great success. It's a wellness brand for men. If you're a guy who prides himself on looking and feeling his best, then you should check out Hims. You've heard us talk about them before, as I said, and now it's time to see what they're all about yourself. 66% of men start to lose their hair at age 35, and once you've noticed thinning hair, it can be too late. Is your hairline slowly starting to move backwards or experience bald spots? The best way to prevent hair loss is to do something about it while you still have some. It's time to get a handle on those precious little locks of yours. We often wonder, why do guys turn to weird solutions or do nothing when they can turn to medicine and science? And Hims has the solution for that. It's forhims.com, a one-stop shop for hair loss, skincare, sexual wellness for men. And thanks to science and Hims, baldness can be optional. Hims is helping guys be the best version of themselves with licensed physicians and FDA-approved products to help treat hair loss. These are not over-the-counter gas station supplements. These are prescription-backed solutions that work hand-in-hand with science. Hims was created by a guy who knows men's health conversations are easier online than in person. So this helps you avoid the awkward in-person visits or long pharmacy lines. For Hims connects you to real doctors online, which could save you hours. It's completely confidential and discreet. You answer a few questions, the doctor reviews, and if they determine it's right for you, they can prescribe you medication to treat hair loss, and it's shipped directly to your door. This holiday season, in fact, let it grow, let it grow, let it grow with Hims. Try Hims today by starting out with a free online visit. Go to hims.com/dude. That's FORHIMS.com/dude. Forhims.com/dude. Prescription products are subject to doctor approval and require an online consultation with a physician who will determine if a prescription is appropriate for you. See the website for full details and safety information. This could cost you hundreds if you went in person to a doctor's office or pharmacy. Remember, that's forhims.com/dude. Thank you, Hims, for your sponsorship. Animal Crossing New Horizons. I don't know if you guys are going to play this. I might get it. I enjoyed the 3DS
It
one.
washed over me.
It's a...
Into your veins.
I never played any Animal Crossing ever before, but I watched the entire Nintendo Direct. Like, let's show you everything we got going on in Animal Crossing, and I'm like, I need to step away. Sometimes you need to get an island getaway. Animal Crossing basic sounds like, well, why am I going to do a life simulator?
Yeah.
This is an adventure.
Yeah, it is. This is your ideal life. Like Tom Nook's still gouging your prices up your ass and taking everything you got, but it does feel cool. They're doing some cool things with the fact that it is an island. Like you can set your Switch to be in a different hemisphere, so then your seasons change with that hemisphere. And there is all sorts of stuff tied into the seasons too. Like the animals and fish that are on the island are tied to whichever season you're in.
Yeah.
And cool stuff.
Okay.
This just feels so low pressure.
Yeah.
Which is what I need. I don't need someone coming at me asking me how my Animal Crossing, sending me letters and shit. I just want to build a stoop, and I just want to load up the game, sit on my couch, and watch them sitting on their couch.
Will someone's dead mother contact me?
That was proof false.
Will
or
that
whatever.
happen? Oh yeah, that poor kid. Anyway.
But yeah, I will play this until it becomes a chore for me.
Totally. No pressure game. It's
Yeah.
just a chill out, mellow game.
It's like perfect Switch game, right?
Yeah, and I feel like you're either in or you're out.
Mm-hmm.
You know, there's no real questions about this. Like, if it looks interesting, you're in, and if this type of game isn't for you, like, moving on.
Yeah.
If this was on, say, Xbox, and I was like, all right, let's play some New Horizons, and I turned on the Xbox and it goes, there's an update, I would be like, all right, I'm out forever. But since it's on the Switch, a way easier console to keep updated, and you can just grab and just boom, or throw it in your bag, or sit on an airplane or whatever. I'm like, yep, I want it.
Like,
I've been playing that Kirby game. If that tells you anything.
Which one?
The Kirby Battle game.
Oh, Battle Stars or some
whatever?
shit?
Whatever the free one that came out.
Yeah.
Nice.
I've played that a fair amount just because it's on the Switch. So this game that looks like an actual game.
Yeah, there's something like freeing and liberating about it, because I'm imagining just the discourse and the conversations around some of these other games we've been talking about, like Final Fantasy, Cyberpunk, just how many hot takes and opinions and how crazy things are going to get when people love it and hate it. I feel like Animal Crossing is just kind of away from that
Yeah.
noise. They're just chilling.
It's your Zen garden.
Yeah, it is. There's some interesting stuff related to multiplayer and co-op, though. Apparently, and I hope I read this right, the game has one island per Switch system.
Okay.
But
What does that mean?
which is weird to me.
Is the island procedurally generated
That
for you?
Theoretically
or-
means that you could have another user on
Yeah,
your Switch, but
so-
they'll have to go to the other side of the
Yeah,
island.
so you only need one Joy-Con controller per player, so you don't have to buy additional controllers. Like if you and I wanted to play it together, we just take the two off and we play it together. You can have up to 8 players can share an island, and 4 can play at the same time. So all
I'm just
4
gonna
of us
say
can
this.
sit there.
Stay off my island. Okay. I didn't buy it so that way you chumps could hang out there. I brought it so I could bring hot women back like David Copperfield.
Oh God. There's a lot of implications there.
Camping sounds fun. It just sounds delightful.
It looks, I actually, compared to every other game we've talked about that has had blood, gore, violence, remake, sex, drugs, everything else, then we go, in Animal Crossing, fuck yeah! Like, it's such
It's
a
fun.
Ready to
Chill,
fish.
mellow. Got some palm trees.
Yeah.
The whooshing sound. Just imagine some chill vibes. You get your headphones on. Plays probably some chill Nintendo beach music. And then you can go, all right, I just want the ocean sounds. You just sit there, listen to ocean sounds from your tent.
Do you like fishing in video games?
no.
No.
I like it when it's simple, when it's just like cast, you caught a big fish.
Yes.
When it's 15 minutes of exhausting the fish, then I get a
Oop,
little
it got
tired.
away,
Yeah.
broke your line. You're just like,
Yeah,
So-
broke your line. Go buy a new line.
I like it based on what the intent is. If it's like just try to get your personal goal of catching the biggest fish, I don't care. But if it's like you need to catch this specific type of fish because you got to take that to someone who's going to trade it for whatever, then I'm like, oh yeah, like I have a point to doing this. I like to have a direction with it, a purpose. So yeah, that's what I'm in for. So yeah, like
Making some bells.
look at this.
I like that. I the time lapse of when it goes from mess to clean everything up and make it look. I was like, as someone who finds joy in doing the dishes when it's all the act of doing it, but when it's all done and you look at it and you go, like it is.
Do
there's something-
you finish your dishes before you eat your prepared meal? You just made a meal in the kitchen. Do you do the dishes first or eat
typically-
first?
I will wash them in the sink and leave them there.
Yeah.
And let them dry.
Nice.
Yes, because otherwise it just solidies.
If I've made something, put them all as much as I can in the dishwasher, then sit down.
Yes.
You're gonna. It's gonna.
Teamwork. Sometimes I'm cooking, done with this, boom, she throws it in the dishwasher.
Buddy system.
And then then we can piggyback it and then peace out.
Yeah, always know where your buddy is in the kitchen, or you're gonna have a knife and you're gonna turn around. They get it.
I'm the monster though, who's like, it's just my wife and I live together, and I'm like, we only need 2 forks. There's only 2 of us. She's like, you're insane. Don't do that. I'm like, but why? Don't lose the fork.
It's true.
It's true.
Oh, yeah.
We lost the fork. Somehow it ended up somewhere. It was a garbage disposal or a trash can. I don't know.
Thank goodness you're a famous voice actor now, Adam, that you can
know.
afford more than one fork. The final game today on our Q1 of 2020 breakdown is Predator Hunting Grounds.
Yes.
Comes out April 24th on the PS4
Nice.
from Ilphonic and Sony.
Yeah.
We got today at the PlayStation State of Play, we got the announcement trailer. It's asymmetric multiplayer, so it pits the Predator armed with its plasma caster against a bunch of soldiers.
Yeah.
So it's kind of like, evolve, except everybody's really highly
I mean,
weaponized.
these are the same guys who made Friday the 13th.
Yeah.
Yes.
You play that?
Which
So-
is so janky, but I love it.
Well,
Oh, well,
I
not-
love
not
that
supported
I know
anymore.
Dead by Daylight was like the big one that came out of that whole asymmetrical genre. It's like the only one that really survived. But I was always more partial to Friday the 13th because it sounded like there was a lot more going. It wasn't just start the machines and hide or whatever. It was like there's a lot more going on.
Find the battery, find the gas.
Yeah.
There's
It's like
elements
Chad's
and
face,
stuff.
his weird.
Oh, yeah,
Yeah. And it didn't matter that it felt a little bit more janky necessarily.
Yeah.
I'm just.
Full disclosure.
Oh yeah, we should be full disclosure. Go ahead.
Yeah, well, yeah. The game does feature voice talent from popular YouTube creators Adam Kovic, James Willems, Alyx Willems, in front of the Funhaus channel, Bruce Green,
And
And
Mr. Sark.
that's right.
I thought you were going to say popular YouTubers and us.
Are
and
you
others.
allowed to say who you voice or no?
I
honestly
don't think we have
know.
names.
We are voicing soldiers.
Soldiers,
Yeah.
yeah.
We are arguably the least interesting characters
Yes.
in the game because
100%.
everyone wants to play as the predator, and like we're the. You get to kill us, basically.
Yeah.
We're the guy
There's-
going, I'm
I
dead.
did a lot of screams of what it sounds like to have my head with spine ripped out of my body,
Amazing.
which is way cooler than I think if I was just going a lot.
We all try to do
we-
our best. Jesse the Body Ventura. We'll see. At least I think did the best.
I don't think so. I don't
Yeah.
really have a great
Jesse.
VO voice. I got really pressured into doing this.
Nice, way to go.
No, I appreciate the opportunity.
Way
It
to
was very
spit on the
fun.
opportunity you've been
Just
provided.
kidding. I
She's
really
being humble.
appreciate the
Well,
opportunity.
I'll say this. I'll say this about the game. The Dead by Daylight, like pure asymmetrical, where it's 4 people versus 1 killer. I'm like, that's too much pressure, and I feel like there aren't as many objectives. We have gotten to try this very, very early build of this game, just so we kind of knew what we were getting into. And something I do like about it is that there's a squad of Marines, like a la Evolve or something. You have a squad of Marines, soldiers, that go into a jungle to accomplish a specific objective, which just involves generally killing other militants.
Got it.
So
Basically
there's
the
like
movie.
breaking.
Cool.
It's just like the movie. So
Yeah.
you're trying to get into a jungle compound. So your goals are get in here, shoot a bunch of AI, like and do that. Use your skills to whatever
accomplish your mission.
tame the area
Yeah.
and stuff. And then so the predator is just this variable. It's just this animal in the jungle
That's really cool.
that will kill all.
Are
Wants
you
to kill you, but also will just like slaughter everything.
you big Predator fan?
Love
Amber?
Predator. Love Predator. Love Alien. Love Friday the 13th. So very excited for this.
Yeah,
Yeah.
but
It's coming out.
I like
It's coming out soon.
Soon, yeah.
Yeah, that's the tail end of
Dawn-
Q1.
Don Casanova gifted us with the ability to play the Alien vs. Predator Capcom game.
Oh,
nice.
Don got like that big Capcom arcade thing.
Wow.
And AVP was arcade exclusive. So you could only ever get it illegally, like
Yeah.
emulate it.
Yeah, memes.
But it's on that. So it just got our Predator
What
juices
can't he
flowing.
do?
there's the guy with the big arm or whatever.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then the predator. There's the brown predator and like the green predator or
Yeah.
something. And then there's the brown predator's girlfriend
Yeah.
and the green predator's boyfriend. They're the other two.
I've my request. I guess we could maybe ask, but like, do you ever read Predator Cold War, the comic? They did Predator in the snow, and I was like, that's a cool idea.
School level.
It's just I remember there's this one. There's
but then
this one
everyone's invisible.
basically. But yeah, there's this one trap I remember where there was like a snow, it was just like a little walkway, but it was like almost caved in, and this guy was walking through, and his foot gets trapped, and then these spikes come in, and it's a predator trap that he created, which is like a doorway, and I was just like, and they're just seeing the pure white snow and this dude's blood going against it and being stabbed, and I was like, that could be. Someone please do that in a movie. Instead, they're like,
Visuals.
what about a small town?
I
was like,
wonder-
okay.
I wonder because of Dead by Daylight, they added so many classic horror villains. They added like Leatherface, and I think, and like maybe Michael Myers even. They added a bunch of rogues. So I wonder if Predator will do something like that. Maybe add in like a Arnold Schwarzenegger hero character, or
Maybe.
like
Yeah.
I know
We know nothing.
It's in
by the way.
partnership
Yeah.
with Sony and 20th Century Fox, so I guess it depends on like
Got
who
it.
20th Century Fox can
Got it.
clear. But yeah, you're right.
I know Predator goes toe to toe with Batman. So
true.
We've all seen the fan film.
But yeah, that's kind of there are other cool games that are coming out within those first 4 months of the year, but just for the sake of time, we tried to cover some of the bigger ones. It was thanks so much for coming, Huber. It was a delight to have you here.
Yeah,
That was so fun.
Again, for people at home, Mike is a member of Easy Allies. They can find you on Patreon and support you. And what kind of like shows and stuff do you have that you?
We do a bunch of stuff. We do reviews, previews. We're streaming like all the time, every day on Twitch, pretty much. Twitch.tv/Easy Allies. And
you've got some
and then
stuff
we have a bunch of
you.
a bunch of random, all sorts of shows. We used to have a tabletop show, but now that's on hiatus. We have a board game show where we just play board games. We have a game show.
Your hype,
where it's like game trivia. It's called Mysterious Monsters. We got just a
I've
whole
been on
bunch
it.
of stuff.
It was a blast.
Super
Amazing.
fun.
Alyx has been on the Life is Strange spoiler modes.
Yeah, we've all this year. Huber and I have been doing Life is Strange spoiler mode, so you can for $1 Patreon check out. And we just finished like the 5th one.
Yes,
such a ride.
Yeah. So yeah, that's pretty much it.
But thanks so much for coming. Maybe I'm hoping that maybe closer to Q2 of doing a what's coming up in Q2. So if you want to come back, I'd love to have you.
Talking about unreleased games is my favorite thing to do in life.
No pressure,
Sorry.
low
Okay.
stakes. The stakes are low.
Breathing.
Yep.
Yeah, cool. Thanks so
Awesome.
much.
Thank you so much.
Thank you, man.
Thank you, Alyx.
Thank you,
for letting us
Adam.
talk about video games.
And you, Adam, for being a friend of James.
Show me Knights of the Round, cowards. I want to see if we are at the point where we don't need 2 guys that do the spinny helicopter thing right through them.
Yeah.
Don't need it.
That's why it's taking so long. They have to render the summon. It's gonna be forever.
Well, what about Sephiroth's summon? Remember when he's
The,
like, it's
like,
like, oh no, Jupiter,
Yeah.
and it just goes. Bleef.
Yeah. It becomes like a donut.
That's not how it works. But
yeah.
okay.
Yeah, but he does it twice.
Yeah.
He sucks.
Oh well.
Do this.
Oh yeah. Sorry. Bye everyone. Bye live people.
Bye. Oh, Peloton's viral ad captures a 116-pound woman's year-long fitness journey to become a 112-pound woman. And I'm like, Jesus Christ. Like, there's a lot of anger directed there. Good King Tweetman said, contrary to the commercial, do not give your wife a Peloton